Hello guys, welcome to this tutorial. It's Geoffrey J. Zimba. So today we're going to talk about arrays with C++. So what are arrays? Arrays are just consecutive storage locations. Yeah, they're just consecutive storage locations. So arrays just store data type, whether you store data of the same data type. Let's say you want to have one variable that can store 5 integers, so you can have an array of the name of the data type int that can store 5 integers. So the simple definition: an array is just a consecutive group of memory locations that all have the same name and the same data type. Alright, so to refer to a particular location or element in the array, we specify the name of the array and its location. So the location here is just a position number which we call the index or the subscript. So let me just show you the syntax of using an array. So this is just a comment. So an array will get the type, the name, then in square brackets you're going to put the size of the array. So the size of the array is going to determine how many elements are going to be held in that array. Then your equal sign, then you're going to have your brackets like that. So just in your brackets here, your elements are going to be separated by a comma. So in here you have your elements. So let's say you have two elements that can be element 1, then you can have element 2, just like that. So that means the size here that you have is 2. So that's it. Then remember we talked about accessing the elements that are in our array. So what we said was we can only access the elements in an array using their position number, which is their index. So let's first look at how we can define an array, and further we're going to go into doing other stuff. So the syntax here shows the data type. So the data type, I want an integer. So the name, I can just say num. Then the size, I can say 2. The size, I can say 2. Then I can do that. So this is actually the declaration of an array of data type int, and it has got a size of 2. So meaning this array can store 2 elements. So this array can store 2 elements. So now let's talk about initializing elements to an array. Remember, with just a normal variable, for instance we have x, we can do this, or we can say x is equals to 2, just like that. But with our array we can actually do the same thing, but it's just that if we have to put our square brackets and say 2, 5. So these are the numbers. Okay, let me just use another number here. So I'll say 7. So I have initialized 2 elements to this array that can store 2 elements. Actually, yeah, it can store 2 elements. So it has the size of 2, and these are the 2 elements separated by a comma. So this is how we initialize an array. So the other way we can initialize an array is by using the position numbers. So the position numbers, as we said, they are just called index or subscripts. So these are just position numbers. So position number starts from 0. Mind you, position numbers start from 0. So if I wanted to initialize the first element in my array to be equal to 5, I would say the name of the array, then inside the square brackets, now I'm not going to have the size of the array. What is going to go in there is the position number. So the first element always lies in the subscript, or rather the index 0. So I'll say 0, then I'll just do the equal sign, assigning a value. So I can assign the value 2. Let me just use 5. Then guess what, to the second element at which position is it going to be? That's at position 1. So the counting starts from 0 with indexes. So the first element lies in the index number 0, the second element lies in the index number 1, third 2, just like that. So I can say 7 like that. So what I've done here is just the same as the previous assignment where I did 5 7. This is just the same, but here we are assigning immediately after declaring, but this one we declare. So with this one, so with this one first I declare, with this one I declare here, then I initialize using the position numbers. So let's try to say if I want to print out. So remember, for us to access any element in our array, we use the position numbers. So we just say the name of the array, then the position number. I want to print out an element that is at position number 1, so that's index number 1. So I'll do that. Then if I execute my program, I compile and run my program, hopefully I should get a 7 on the screen. So okay, let's wait. My PC is a little bit slow, so guys, you forgive me. Alright, there we go. So that's the 7 that we have there. So if I wanted to print out what is the first element, which is lying on subscript 0, I was going to say 0. Then printing it out, definitely I'm going to get a 5. So because what is at position 5, position 0 is 5, so this is our 5 there. So now let's use the first declaration that we said. So that's 5,7. So if I was to execute this, printing out the first element, so that's 5, I'm still going to get a 5. So if I said position number 1, so hopefully I'm going to get a 7. So guys, that's an introduction on arrays. So arrays, let me just wrap you up. So arrays are just consecutive storage locations which can actually store data of the same data type and of the same name. So all these elements in here have got the same data type, which is of integer, and the same name, which is num, and we can only access the elements in our array using their position numbers, which are just their subscripts or their indexes. So thank you guys for watching. Please watch out for another video. We are going to talk about more about arrays and many more. Thank you.